On February 2nd of this year, the defendant entered a no contest plea to domestic violence third offense. Ms. Karen Edwards prepared a pre-sentence report dated March 25, 2026. The court has also received letters that have been provided on behalf of Ms. King, including letters from Raymond King, Ashley Collins, Nicholas Holzwart, Holzwart, Jenna, Genna Rachi, Rathje, Brooke Arns, and Ashley Adams. Ms. Weisenbach, have you declined the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
Yeah.
Report other than guidelines?
No, thank you.
Any objections to scoring of the guidelines?
No.
Ms. King, do you agree with all that?
Yes,
Mr. Rakowski?
No, I had a question.
Thank you. You'd like to say on behalf of your client before the court imposes sentence?
it hasn't been that long since Your Honor has had Ms. King before you.
Third offense DV. 2 autistic kids. Judge already gave her a second chance. Now she's back. Prison or home. Let's see.
I understand that, so there isn't much to add, except that there's been a development at home. When Ms. King went to jail, it was a bit of a shock. We had looked at a recommendation of 30 days, and Your Honor gave her 6 months. She was prepared to leave her children for 30 days with the husband's care. There was also school for one of her children. She needed work release. The court granted that. Appreciate that. She has been on work release. But here's the rub. Sometimes people don't always know what a mom does until there's no mom to do it. And Mr. King, to his credit, has fully gathered everything that he did not necessarily know about that his wife was doing for their 3 children. 2 of them are nonverbal autistic, and it was a heavy lifting that he's been doing. But unfortunately, despite his best efforts to care for the children, get them to school, he sought out a neighbor for help. He's done what he's needed to do, but the children still miss their mother, and doesn't matter what you tell them, they don't understand why she's not home. And children's minds, when they don't understand, creates anxiety, and they race and they come up with things that are not true, and they get themselves all worked up, especially little ones who already struggle to understand our world, which is 2 of Ms. King's children. That's why it was important last time we asked the court to adjourn to give her people an opportunity to write letters to explain this woman is the mom, she's the glue, she holds this whole ship together. And when she's not there, things fall apart. No one cares if the dishes get done or if the laundry gets done. Everyone cares about what's been happening to these children. She's not here to ask for anything for herself. She's been going to jail, she's been doing work release, and honestly, she hasn't had to do dishes or laundry. So it's fine for that part. And I'm being sarcastic because it's not fine. But here's the rub. It's because of these children that we are asking you to consider. Her out date for that prior sentence is June 29th. The recommendation here would add almost another year or so to this time that she has to serve. Would ask this court to allow her an out date that is consistent with the June 29th, so she can go home to these children. It has been hard on them. I ask you to take special consideration of the letter that her husband wrote. He understands a lot more of what's going on now that she's not there to hold it all together and carry everything. Little details mean a lot, and that's what moms do. They handle all those little details and fill in all the gaps and makes life easier for everybody, and they don't even realize why life was easy. Ray King gets it now. He's here today because he's invested, understands, and he's asking as well for you to consider, for the sake of their children, an update that is consistent with June 29th. She has
The mom is glue defense. Manipulative? Maybe. True. Dad's drowning without her. Does great mom cancel out repeat abuser? You decide.
something to say also.
All right. This, what would you like to say?
First of all, I admit I am not perfect, but I am a great mother. And most people with divorce over conflict, complicated marriages, but just like my husband, he is also not perfect. With both other kids, until jail, I've never had more than 13 hours away from my son. I couldn't take for my daughter. I'm not only just my son's birthday.
It's a girl.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll start over. First of all, I will admit I'm not perfect, but I am a great mother. Most people divorce over complicated marriages, but just like me, my husband is also not perfect. We both love our kids. Until jail, I've never been more than 13 hours away from my son and 36 hours away from my daughters. This was only due to the birth of my son during COVID. My oldest is 9 and has autism. Like a lot of other folks, I thought maybe it was the shots. Second child was normal. Then the third child was born and is nonverbal autistic. Until this third child, it was hard to even think about this process. This may also be a problem in our marriage. I know he loves me and our children, but this social emotional factor makes things a lot more complicated. My husband also has mental health issues. You have to stick to a schedule with children, even more so those who are on the spectrum. I make about $400 a week. I'm paying $160 for work release. It's almost half my income. Since I'm in jail, I also have to pay for all my medical out of pocket. I'm the only one working and still have to have paid for gas, car insurance, etc. But the worst part is for the children. They are the ones suffering emotionally with me not being around. My nonverbal son started becoming difficult at school. Daughters are not wanting to do their schoolwork, and all I'm asking is for some understanding.
She wants house arrest, bottle assault, drunk, kids watching, while on probation. The audacity is unreal.
I'm asking for house arrest, court to be released on June 29th.
Mr. Rakowski, anything on behalf of the people? This is the victim. 29.
Today, Judge, that you do so with the idea of trying to prevent Ms. King from doing this stuff again. She understands, because this isn't like it's the first time. This is domestic violence number 3. So whatever you want to do that way, Your Honor, we would encourage you to do to fashion a fair and just sentence in this case with the rest of the recommendations from the Department of Corrections being adopted.
Thank you. Ms. King's assaultive behavior begins March 7, 2014. Attempted domestic violence, which was eventually dismissed under the Spouse Abuse Act. That was number 1. 2019, domestic violence, but that was dismissed for prejudice. 2021, domestic violence, second offense, reduced to domestic violence first, 20 days in jail. This is in 2021. 2025, where the defendant was on delay of sentence for resisting obstructing a police officer, assaultive behavior. Was granted delay of sentence. Sadly, on February 2nd, 2026, unsuccessful delay of sentence, scheduled to 6 months with 2 days credit. And while on delay of sentence, on December 20, 2025, is this case. And it was a domestic violence third offense. Defendant was clearly on delay at the time. The report indicates the use of an alcohol bottle against the victim. Defendant was intoxicated. Defendant took the children. Police were eventually called, and charges were brought against the defendant. So it begs the question of the court, if you're so concerned about the children now, why weren't you thinking of the children in December? I don't need an answer. In December, the children have the same medical conditions, mental health concerns. You decide to get intoxicated and use an alcohol bottle on someone with mental health issues. That's the question. And now the defendant comes before the court saying, well, it's my kids and my kids. I'm going to tell you right now, I feel terrible for these children. Terrible, because they're given is essentially the tools, sadly, that they will garner and use throughout their early lives to potentially act out or be the victims of domestic assault. Mr. Rakowski is right. The research is very clear regarding families that have these types of issues. And I appreciate the fact that you're concerned about your children, But you sure as heck were not concerned of them on December 20th. And
Judge hits back. Where was this concern in December? Same kids, same struggles, but booze and a bottle won that night. Sympathy train equals derailed.
I don't know what your spouse did, but if he has mental health concerns and mental health issues, why in the world would someone be intoxicated and use an alcohol bottle on someone? It doesn't make any sense to this court. Your guideline range is a minimum 5 months to a maximum of 23 months. This is a straddle cell. The court could send you to prison for this. And I appreciate the fact that you're working. I appreciate the letters that have been provided, but it just begs the question why someone would do this and then all of a sudden claim, well, the children. You should have thought of that before you decided to consume alcohol, before you decided to lash out at the victim for whatever he did. And he may have, frankly, deserved something, but not to the extent of a domestic assault. It could have been, you know what, you're not following through, you're not doing this, I'm taking the kids, I'm going somewhere else, and I'm going to take care of them. It could have been that, but it wasn't that, it was much more than that. And there's a history of this. 2 prior domestic convictions. On top of that, resisting obstructing a police officer, the officer was trying to do his or her job. I understand Ms. Weisenbach's arguments relative to being around the children and providing for the children.
5 months. Bare minimum. 19 more hanging over her like a sword. Mercy or math. Either way, he said no more.
But it goes back to my point again. You should have thought of that back on December 20th. It will be the sentence of this court, 24 months. 5 months, I'm giving her the low end of the guidelines to serve. The remaining time will be held in abeyance. We're serious now. No more. You understand? It's my duty to inform.
Mom of 3. 2 special needs. 3rd DV conviction. Court saw the kids. Heard the kids. Sentenced to crime. Too soft? Too harsh? Comment below.